everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I'm your yarn host, Jennifer. Today we are doing a washcloth tutorial. Before I get into the washcloth tutorial, I do want you to watch this. I have a little bit of information on why we're doing the washcloth tutorial, and then you can watch the tutorial at your leisure. Okay, so today I got a thing in the mail from Rose at Roselikescrochet. And I've mentioned Rose a couple times now, and I've mentioned this washcloth thing that we're doing. Now, if you want to be a part of this, if you want to join in, all I am asking is that you donate one washcloth. Just one. And donate it to Rose. Don't send it to me, because then I got to send it back out and it's a whole thing. Send it to Rose. Rose's address is right here. You can screenshot that. You can write it down, pause it, write that down. This is Rose's P.O. Box. She does not want them coming in right now. She would like you to work on them now and send them to her in September so that she can donate them for the month of October. And I know that's a long ways away, but the reason that she's doing it so early is because she has asked a lot of us podcasters to participate, and she knows that some of us podcasters are extremely busy, and me for one, I schedule out my videos way in advance, and so I actually have videos planned way in advance. And she wanted to make sure that we were all on board and that we all had the time to do this. And one of the things she did is she sent us a little ball of cotton. I have no idea what kind of cotton this is. I mean, I have a sneaking suspicion because I do recognize this colorway. But it's a beautiful little cotton. Now you can send in washcloths, dishcloths, you can send in scrubbies. All of these are acceptable. You don't have to use fancy cotton. You can use the just cotton from the Dollar Tree. So it will cost you $1 to make it. And then the cost of this was $4.20 to ship this ball. But this probably will make 2 washcloths. So it may not be $4.20 for you. But for the cost of about $5, you can send a washcloth to Rose and you can help someone who is possibly starting over. And the organization that we're doing this for is called Wings. It is a domestic violence organization. They don't promote domestic violence, of course not. What they do is they help people who are trying to escape or recover from a domestic violence situation, and they're helping them to start over, to get a fresh start. That includes helping them with housing, that includes helping them with counseling, planning, mentoring, all of these things. And that is a big feat, because having had experience with domestic violence, I'm not going to go into my whole story, but I was in an abusive relationship when I was a teenager. I also had grandparents who were physically abusive towards each other, and I have seen firsthand the impact that that can have on someone. Now, I was only in a domestic violence situation for 6 months, and it took me 2 years to recover from it because I did not have proper counseling. I did not have anything set in place for me as a vulnerable 17-year-old to recover from what I had experienced. So I can tell you that this is a very valuable organization. They help people to escape, which is the main goal of this, is just to get them out of the situation so that they can think more clearly without their thoughts being like given to them. Because with abuse, like, very much your thoughts are not your thoughts anymore. Like, they reprogram you to think that you deserve this, to think that this is somehow something you did. It's a horrible situation. And I think it's amazing that Rose has been doing this for now. This is her 2nd year. And if I can just donate a washcloth, or if you guys can just donate a washcloth, it is a big deal, because some of these people, women, men, and children, are affected by domestic violence. They are starting over, and there's a good chance they left the house with nothing. So they may have left everything behind. Now, Rose is not just doing washcloths. She's doing all kinds of things throughout the year. I think June is shawls, and she has done toys for Easter, and she's done lots of things. And I will link Rose. Check out her Wings playlist, check out her wings organization videos, and she will give you a list of what she's working on if you want to do something other than washcloths, because I know not everyone likes working with cotton, and that's okay. If you got extra like shawls that you've made and they're laying around, like, you can donate them to her for June, whatever. I will be happy and I will be proud of you no matter what you do, how little or how big you're able to help. So we're going to get started. I'm going to use the cotton yarn that Rose sent me. We're going to start with a very simple washcloth pattern, and then we are going to work our way up to more fanciful washcloths, because I have a favorite washcloth pattern that I made up, and I'm going to show you guys that in a future video. I'm very excited about that, but you have to have 2 different colors of cotton for that. So, well, you could use one, but like, it looks fancier with 2 different colors. So we're going to get to the table. We're going to get started. Thank you, Rose, for including me in this and for the yarn, even though I didn't need it. I have a lot of cotton. So let's go to the table and we'll get started with this quick little washcloth tutorial. All right, to start, I have my pretty little... Now, can I tell you that I think Rose picked this color out specifically for me because it's my favorite colors. I think she's buttering me up a little bit. Actually, she said that she just shoved the cotton in these envelopes, and she said she sent them out randomly, but I'm telling you, she picked this one out for me. At least, if only in my imagination, she picked that out for me. All right, so we're going to start with our hook. Now, hooks, because this doesn't have a label on it, the yarn will usually tell you what size hook they recommend to use with your cotton. This looks like a number 3 or a thin number 4, so I'm going to use a smaller hook. And as per always with my furls hooks, the stickers come off. This is probably either a J or an I from what it looks like. I have no idea. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. Whoops, totally kicked my tripod. So we're just going to start our washcloth with a slip knot. With a slip knot. Can I tell you a little secret? I have no idea what pattern we're doing yet. We're just going to do like Cinnamon Stitches does. And we're going to wing it because it's for wings. We're going to wing it for wings. But I promise the next one will be the fancy washcloth. And it will be coming up very soon as I find the yarn I want to use with it. So you guys will be excited for that one. But this one we're just going to... Now when I start a washcloth, start with a slip knot. I should probably show you a slip knot because not everybody is going to come in here and know how to do a slip knot. When you do a slip knot, I just make like an awareness ribbon like that. So I put the short tail underneath the bottom and I pinch it at the X, go down through the top, grab a loop, pull it up, tighten, tighten. Okay, very easy. We are going to chain. Now washcloths depend on the size hook you use and the size yarn you're using. I usually like to do, and depending on the size washcloth you want, between a 25 and a 40 count, and I don't usually keep track. So washcloths you can make and just design and not really think about it. And the pattern we're doing today, it doesn't matter what your initial stitch count is, because it's not going to be like a fanciful pattern. So we're just going to chain and chain and chain. Oh look, it changed color. That doesn't seem like a very big washcloth, so we'll just go a little bit more. Couple more. I like my washcloths big because I'm a big girl, and sometimes I like to just put the whole washcloth on my face when I'm in the bathtub and just let the hot water steam through my face. And so I always keep that in mind. Like, I like big washcloths, but not everybody does. So go ahead and make an assortment of colors, make assortment of sizes, make an assortment of designs. All right, so that seems about right. You know, if you guys want to know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 31, 32, 33, 34. 34. Sounds like a good even number. We're going to skip back 1 to the third one from the hook, and we're going to put a half double crochet. Okay. And then we're just going to do half double crochets across. I love half double crochets for washcloths because it's not real holey and gapey. So that's where we're going to start. And I really like, especially I like starting the first row and ending the last row with half doubles because it gives it a nice border. And I'm sure that you guys can hear the wind chimes singing in the background because we are directly next to the window, and outside the window, that's the wind chime. So we're doing half doubles all the way across. I really love this colorway. And I'm probably going to make, like I said in a past video, I'm probably going to make, why did I not center pull from this yarn? I always center pull. That means I need a yarn bowl. Yeah. Yarn bowl. See? Just keep that. We don't need to look at the yarn bowl. I'm just going to make half doubles. Had I been smart and center pulled out like I normally do with all of my cakes, that could have just sat on the desk and I could have pulled from the center, but you know, I had about 1,000 things in my head today. I have several videos I want to record today. You know how life goes. So now I appreciate anybody that's watching this. There is not like, I'm not forcing you to make a washcloth if you don't want to be participating. I'm not like trying to make you feel bad if you don't participate. You can just make this washcloth for yourself if you want. Like, no big deal. But I figured, like, since I'm doing it, I might as well have some of you, because I know some of you will, participate with me and Rose and the many other podcasters. I know for a fact Pamela's Adoring Crochet is doing tutorials. Well, she's done at least one tutorial. I don't know what her plans are for the future. But she also, if you want to check her out, she has a washcloth tutorial she just released. So that is our first row, is just half doubles. And we're going to chain 2 and turn. And turn. I'm going to put a half double crochet in that first, the first stitch and all the way across. I don't remember all of the podcasters that are also participating in this. I believe Crystal from Bag O' Day is also participating. And possibly Debbie the Canadian Crotcher. I don't remember. There was a long list of people that got the email. And I've only seen a couple videos so far talking about this. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Man, Rose sent me the perfect colorway. This is like so stimulating visually to me. I love this color. For anybody curious, I believe this is the Sugar and Cream or Lily and Cream cotton. Because I have seen, I am almost positive I have seen this yarn at Walmart. I don't buy a lot, although this feels softer than Sugar and Cream, so I'm not sure. But it's really pretty. It's really pretty. All right, half double crochet all the way across, and don't forget that end, whoop, that end stitch. Now whatever your starting number is, because you turned, you will have, you got to remember it, whatever your starting number is, you will take away the number of stitches you used as your turning point. So I think we used 3, I forgot already. You'll subtract that, and that will be your number of stitches all the way across, back and forth throughout this whole thing. So if it starts to go wonky, you will know why. All right, so now we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to single crochet. And so we're going to chain 1, turn, and in that very first one, we are going to single crochet. The fun thing about washcloths is the more stitches you put in here, the more definition you will get, the more cleanability you will get, because like when you put different textures and stuff in washcloths, it will give you texture. And it actually, I really like textured washcloths because of this. And it makes a nicer washcloth personally, if you ask me. Like that's my opinion. So we're just doing a single crochet in every stitch across. And this will also change up the stitches. Like you could always do this like single crochet, half cup, double crochet all the way across if you wanted to. But when you change up the stitches like this, it will also change the color patterning of a yarn like this. So whereas this is striping, the stripes will either be thicker or thinner depending on what stitch you use. So it gives it a nice little, you know, a little something something. Washcloths are like a chance to just play. You quite honestly could open up any stitch dictionary for crochet and just pick one and make like a little sample out of cotton, and it's a way to learn a new stitch, and it's a way to do it like in a useful way, so you're not just using up scraps. So right, we put a row of single crochets. I'm going to turn it over. This next row we are going to chain 2, and in the second, not this first one, the second one, we're going to yarn over, and we're going to do like a little bobble type stitch just for a little bit of texture. So we're going to pull over. Let's try that again. So in the second one, you're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, you're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, all in that same stitch, yarn over and pull up another loop. So you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops on your hook, okay? You're going to yarn over and pull through all of them. You're going to chain 1. You're going to skip this next stitch and go into that next one. You're going to do it all over again. So you're going to yarn over, go in the hole, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. And again, you will have 7 stitches on here. You're going to pull through all of those, chain 1. Okay, and you get these little bobbles. And we're just going to do that over and over again. Skip one, go to that next one, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, 7, pull through all 7, chain 1, skip the next one, we're going to do it again, 1, 2, 3, pull through all 7 loops, chain 1. Let's see, you get that little cute little detail. And what I thought was white is now looking like it's pink. So we're going to have some little pink bobbles. Skip the next one. We're going to yarn over, or not yarn over, yeah. Wrap it, pull up a loop, wrap it, pull up a loop, wrap it, pull up a loop. And you'll have 7, pull through all 7, chain 1. You guys got it yet? Let me turn that a little bit. I'll bring you in closer. Yarn over, skip the next one, go into this one. See, I'm gonna pull up a loop, pull up a loop, pull up a loop. Don't forget to yarn over in between all of those. So you have the 7, pull through all of those. Now, see, I made it too tight. So I'm struggling. Don't do that. Always try to keep your stitches loose. So we're going to do it again. We're going to yarn over, skip that one, go into this one, pull up a loop, pull up a loop, pull up a loop, 7, pull through, chain 1. All right, now I'm going to speed it up a little bit, as you guys got it now. It's not, oops, I lost a loop. Go through all of those, chain 1, do it again. This is pretty. Washcloths are really enjoyable to me because I don't overthink it. I just throw in random stitches as I go along because I think that's fun, and it's something to do when you're in the car when you're going someplace, or you're sitting and waiting in line for your kid, or you're waiting at the doctor's office. It's not something huge that you're bringing with you. So you can do this project anywhere. And it really gets my creativeness going, because like I do this all the time to where I just randomize. And I did not plan this tutorial out at all. I didn't know what I was going to do when I sat down. We're just going with the flow. And that's the fun part about washcloths. And it helps you learn new stitches. 2, 3. I'll skip 1. 1, 2, 3. Pull through. And because we have that extra stitch there, we're just going to put a half double crochet. No big deal, right? And you might not have an extra stitch there, and that's fine too. Just end it with a bobble if you're in your last stitch. This will change up. No matter what, you can change it up. It does not matter. We're fudging it. It's a washcloth. Nobody is going to use this and be in the bathtub washing their kids and going, oh, they messed up and that count's not right. It's not going to happen. It's just not. All right. Whoops. 1, 2, 3. Turn. Now, this row, well, isn't that pretty? So, this row, we are going to yarn over and put a double crochet here in the first gap there. So, because this is every other stitch, we are going to need 2 double crochets for every one of these bobbles, okay? So, what you can do is you put one in this hole, yeah? And then you see there's this little hole right here on top of the bobble. You just put your next double crochet there. Okay, see, that's what it looks like. And then you pull it apart. This big giant hole gets a double crochet. And this little tiny hole next to it gets a double crochet. Okay, big giant hole, little tiny hole. This is why you want to kind of crochet loose, because you want to be able to fit your hook in there easily without struggling. Ooh, this is so pretty. Now I decided what I'm going to do, because I told you guys I'm also making washcloths for my niece who's going away to college this fall. I'm so proud of that kid. And I'm going to make washcloths. I'm just going to put them in a box. I'm going to try to make 2, if not 2 of every washcloth. I'm gonna make sure there's an equal amount for Rose and an equal amount for my niece. Although we'll see how that works, because I don't know how many washcloths my niece is gonna need. It's just her, so we'll see. I want to make at least 5 for my niece. We're just gonna keep double crocheting across. Once in the bigger hole, once in the smaller hole. And then when I get to the end of this row, put a little bit of lotion on. So we're going to have a little lotion break, because you guys know me and my hands. And it's starting to get a little bit of rug burn with this cotton. And then we got to the end here. So we're going to do just like we did at the beginning. We're going to put a double crochet. See that? That's what it looks like. Lotion my hands up really quick. I was going to apologize right here about having to stop and put lotion on, but if you guys have been with me for any amount of time, you know the suffering that I have on my hands. I mean, I also have it on my feet really bad, but I don't talk about my feet because feet kind of are gross, but you know. All right. Oh, shiny and greased up. And make sure I rub it in really good, because we don't want to put lotion on and then pick up our hook, which is already slippery, and have things just sliding through, you know. That don't work. All right, so we are going to, I think we're going to put one more double crochet on the end here, because it just looked, yeah. All right, then we're going to chain 2 and turn. That is quite a beautiful washcloth. We are going to do half double crochets this row. We're going to skip this one. We're going to go to the second hole. So we're not going to half double crochet in that very first one. that our chains came out of. And we're just going to half double crochet all the way across. All the way, half double crochets. You guys hear my Christmas clock? Lots of background noise, I know. But I invite you guys into my house when we do these tutorials. I'm just glad the kids aren't home because that would be an extra noise. The dogs are in the backyard barking, as per always. Scarlet. Scarlet. Please lay down. Oh, you want to be on my lap? Thank you. She came in here, licked my arm. These dogs, man, I'm telling you. My daughter burned her leg like really bad. She has, I think, a 2nd degree burn. I don't remember. We had to do because it was after hours. And at first, she didn't act like it was like as bad as it was. She came into my room all nonchalant. She's all, Mom, I burned my leg. She was making that cardboard shoe I told you guys about. And I think I told you guys she burned herself. And she came in there nonchalant. A couple days later, like, it was really red and like gross and oozy. And I'm like, you got an infection. Even though we were trying to take care of it, it was clearly infected. All right, so we got to the end. We're going to put a half double crochet in this double crochet. And then don't forget that chain right there. Put a half double in there. And if you can't get it in the hole, just put it in the hole next to it. All right. Then we're going to chain 2 again and turn. She kind of came in like nonchalant, like, Mom, I'm burnt, whatever. So I didn't think nothing of it. But then when it started to get infection, it was, of course, after hours. We're going to do half double crochets in this row again. So we're going to skip that first one and go into the second one. And we called and did a virtual appointment with a nurse at the urgent care or something like that. And they prescribed her that silver sulfa, whatever it's called, for burns. So she, before that, was putting aloe on it. And the dogs just kept like licking her, trying to lick her wound because, I don't know if it's because it was a wound or because of the aloe. And then I got sunburned the other day and I put aloe on and the dogs were like trying to lick my aloe off my arms. And I'm like, leave me alone. So Scarlet just came in here and licked my arm and that's what it reminded me of. I was like, dog, I don't have aloe on. Not that I let them lick the aloe because, I don't think that's healthy for a dog to eat aloe. Although I don't know. Could make them sick, could make them healthy. I have no clue. It's not something I'm going to feed them though. The half doubles. Then we're going to do something cool with the next half doubles. The next row. The next row. Not the next half double. That next row. I'll show you guys. Just keep it on with the half double. This washcloth is beautiful. These colors are so pretty. I think I got some of this yarn from Seta. I really do. All right, so put our half double crochet there. One more. All right, now, if you lay this flat, you can see that the bumps from these little bean stitches is on this side. So it's facing us. So this is the right side of the washcloth. And when you flip it over, it's flat. So if you can rub it and it's mostly flat, you'll know that the bean stitch is on the other side, okay? So what we are going to do, we're going to chain 1. I'm going to turn our work so that the bean stitches are facing down. They're not facing us, they're not facing up, okay? And we're going to do what I call the ridge stitch, but that is not the official name of it. I think it's the camel stitch or something like that. And what it does is it makes this top part fold over so that there's a ridge on this side. So we are going to take right here in this very first stitch. You see, if you look at the top of your washcloth, there's V's. And then if you flip it where the beans are facing downward, you see another V right here. We're going to take, this is called the third loop right here of your triple or your half double crochet. So there's the top part and the bottom part of the V. You're going to yarn over and you're going to go into that third loop and you're going to put a half double crochet. And if your bean stitches are not facing down, this ridge will be on the wrong side of the washcloth and it will not be correct. You'll have to fix it, okay? And so we'll go here. And here's the other third loop of the half double crochet. You're going to put a half double crochet in that. You're going to do that all the way across. And what's going to happen is as you do this, your half double crochet of the previous row is going to start to fold over. And you see how you're getting that ridge there? That is the top of your half double crochet. So it's actually folding over. So it's upright this way. It's folding over that way and causing a ridge. So we're going to continue this across. This is a really easy stitch, but for someone who hasn't done it before, or someone who has a hard time with stitch recognition, you might struggle with this a little bit, but just keep looking at the top, make sure you have the V, and then flip it over, make sure that you're getting that bottom stitch of the V. I really, this is one of my favorite stitches to do as well, because I like doing this stitch in hats. It gives a really nice effect and texture, and I really love doing this in washcloths. Because like I said, I love texture in washcloths. I just love it. Helps get the dirt off, especially when you have like a little boy. If you got a grandson, if you have a son, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. They are dirt magnets. Helps get the bottom of your feet clean. Helps get your dishes clean better because it's causing more friction. We're going to keep going and make sure. And once you get going, it keeps turning itself. So you can actually, what I do is I pinch it over. I pinch it. So I let it fold itself over and then I pinch it a little bit so that that third loop is easily accessible to me. But if you don't do that, I mean, hey, that's fine for me too. Like whatever is the easiest for you to help you to crochet. I don't think I've done a tutorial this close to the window before. I am like 5 inches from touching the window. It's kind of cool. I'm on Mr. Cinnamon's side of the desk. He is at work today. The house is perfectly quiet except for the dogs and the clocks and the wind chime. I think I can hear some birds making some weird squawky noises. Now when you get to the end, because this is a chain, you can either just put a half double crochet in the end like that, which is what we're going to do, or you can try to mimic. You can try to mimic the stitch by just grabbing the back of the chain like that. See, and it will give you the chain all the way to the end, the ridge. See? That is what that looks like. Isn't that pretty? All right, now we're just going to do a couple rows of solid half double crochets, or actually let's do double crochet. So 1, 2, 3. Then we will half double or double crochet across. We're going to do a couple of rows of double crochet because this fancy part will be the top and the bottom of our washcloth. So the center of our washcloth can just be a solid fabric. So if you want to do half doubles, you can. If you want to do doubles, you can. If you want to do singles, be my guest. We're just going to do it for a couple of rows. And then we're going to measure it and see. And the reason I say measure it is because I cannot stand a non-square washcloth. It drives me crazy. So I'm going to show you a trick on how to make sure that your washcloths are square and not rectangular. Garbage man. Scarlet is barking at the garbage man. And of course, if you don't want to do all one row here, if you get bored, you can do doubles, half doubles, singles. You can do whatever combination of stitches you want in the center here. Just make it a flat fabric. I always encourage you guys when I'm doing a tutorial to customize this to what you like. Customize it to what gives you joy. Because honestly, like, there's not enough hours in the day to do something that you don't like doing. I am not a big fan of single crochet. Some people love single crochet. It takes too long for me. It gets tedious and it drives me crazy. And so yeah, I'd rather not do single crochet. Just always try to make sure that your edges are straight as straight could be. Like here, I probably need an extra stitch. But we're going to put a border on that and we'll straighten it up. But just try to keep it squared off on the edges. It's not always possible. And then you could put like a border on here to help fix that. It's not a big deal at all. We're going to go do another row of double crochet. Same way we did the previous row. We're going to chain 3 and in the next stitch put double crochets and double crochets all the way across. This yarn is beautiful. So how was the weather where you are at today? The sky here is beautiful blue. I don't see any clouds where I'm currently sitting. It's in the 60s. That's Fahrenheit here. Oh, I think it's going to be 65 today, which, if you ask me, is like just about perfect. It's a little bit chilly. The breeze is kind of cold and it's cold in the shade, but other than that, it is absolutely beautiful here. We got a little taste of summer already. The kids have been in the pool already. And now it's back to kind of spring weather. It was really gloomy yesterday. Did not care for that. All right, end of that row. That's what it's looking like. So we have half double. We got half double, half double, half double, double, double. Had to take a break and move my camera closer to me. My arms were starting to hurt from leaning forward too far. And do another row of doubles. All right. Same way we did the previous row. We're going to kind of break the washcloth up into thirds. So, and by that I mean, let me find my tape measure. So we have the fancy part here is about 3 inches. So that's about 8. So we break that into 3s. That would be, let's see. So each part of our washcloth should be about 2.5 inches. And it will get us so that it's equal here and equal this. Well, that will all depend on how big you make your washcloth. Mine is about 7.5 inches. So if we take each part and divide it into just about 2.5 inches, which is what we have. So this part will be 2.5 inches. And then we'll make about 2.5 inches. So probably another row of doubles. And then that will kind of equal out so that it will be squared. Because, you know, that's how I like to make my washcloth. If you guys don't care about that, listen, don't listen to me. It doesn't matter. I just like them square. So I always like measure. Then I will stop when I get so far and I will fold it and make sure that it's all equal. Well, as equal as I can get it. Whoop. A little bit tangled there. My table here is a blocking mat. So you guys will see the puzzle pieces down there. And it's not even an official blocking mat. It is foam floor tile. So the other side of this looks like wood grain. And they were way cheaper than blocking mats, and they're the same foam material. They work exactly the same as blocking mats, except the other side looks like wood flooring. And these were cheaper than blocking mats. These were cheaper than the kids style, like bright colored foam tiles. And so that's what we use, and it makes a nice background for the tutorials, or if I'm showing you guys yarn real up close. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. Okay, so this is our third row of double crochets, and I'm going to measure it again. We're not doing exact sciences at all. We're just estimating about. Because it's a washcloth. I mean, it's not a garment. You're not wearing it. I just kind of want every section to be about 2.5 inches. Alright, so I think we need one more row. So that'll be 4 rows of double crochet. Pull some more yarn out of my yarn bowl. 1, 2, 3. Double crochet. Now this corally color is not my niece's favorite color, but she looks so pretty in corals. I wish she would wear them more often. She has like a olive colored skin. It's funny, her skin is like a different coloring than all the rest of us in the family. We're all kind of peachy pinkies, and she's more olive greeny with a bunch of freckles, which I know did not show up in her senior pictures I showed you guys, but she's got a lot of freckles. And a washcloth, like even a fancy washcloth, unless you like have problems to where you have to crochet really slow, it shouldn't take you longer than an hour and a half at the very longest. If you're sitting down steadily crocheting for an hour and a half. I mean, not everybody has time to do that, and I understand that. And this is not a race. This is not, let's see how fast we can go. Let's try to keep up with cinnamon stitches. Just crochet at your own rate. If you crochet slower than this, pause the video until you catch up. Or you can fast forward through all this talking part. I mean, no problem. I just hate when I'm watching a tutorial and I have to keep stopping it because they fast forward themselves to like the next section. All right, so this is what we have so far. This bottom section is 2.5 inches. This next section is less than 2.5 inches, but that doesn't really matter because that's fine. This next row, we're going to chain 2 and we're going to do half double crochets. Yeah. And you want to make sure when you stop and you do the half double crochet row, these bobbles, the little bean stitches, should be facing upward this time, okay? And I'll show you why. Because we're about to repeat this pattern once again. So we're going to do half double crochets in this row across, half doubles, whoop, half doubles, I'm kind of thirsty. I should have brought some tea in here. little bit warm. I want to open the windows, but it's loud outside. My cheeks are getting a little rosy. Not that you guys needed to know all that, but you know, it is what it is. This isn't bad considering we're just winging this little washcloth as we go, right? You just kind of need to know the basics. You need to keep in mind that you want the washcloth to be square. You need to keep in mind that you want the edges to kind of all be lined up. But if it's not a big deal at all, because I always put a border on my washcloth because I just like the way it looks. And I usually do like a contrasting color so that it really makes the washcloth look like it's a piece of art that has been framed. Okay, so we did our half doubles. Our bean stitch is facing upward so that when we go to the next, we turn it over, the bean stitch will be facing down because we're going to do another ridge stitch because we're trying to mimic this but go back downward. Okay, and so if your bean stitches are facing upward, your ridge stitch will be on the right side when we go back to do this. So you always need this V stitch on this side, because look, there's not a V stitch on this side of the half double crochet. So we need to make sure that it's done this way. I know it's complicated. Oop, I bumped the camera. We are going to chain 1. And in that very first one, we're going to do the ridge stitch again. We're going to put a half double crochet in the 3rd loop of the half double crochet of the previous row. If you forgot how to do that, you can rewind and watch it again. Just half double crochet in that 3rd loop. I meant to start this tutorial like earlier in the morning. My kids got me addicted to playing this video game called Animal Crossing New Horizon. It's kind of crazy. That was a weird noise. It sounded like it was coming from my yard. Alright, well, apparently there are workers out there doing what they do. So if you guys hear noise, somebody's getting a new driveway. It's kind of funny because the people in the corner, they hired one of those door-to-door asphalt people, and they will put blacktop down on your driveway. And most of the time those people are scam artists, and if you're getting a really good deal on asphalt, it's because they don't know what they're doing. They are, a lot of times they're drifters. So they go and they travel and they go buy some blacktop and they bring it with a mop and a bucket and they paint your driveway. And a lot of times it looks terrible. And that's what these people in the corner did. They did that to their driveway, and now they have to pay a, I'm sure, much more expensive company to come fix what was done to their driveway. I'm sure they're not happy. So, all right. I'm going to put an extra stitch down here because it looks uneven. But there's our next ridge stitch. So we have one here and one here. And so we're going to try to copy what we did going back down this way. So we have half double, half double, half double ridge. So we're going to do another half double row. So we're going to chain 2, do our half doubles down the row, one of the challenging things about crocheting a tutorial is my camera is above, it's like almost eye level with me if I look straight out. And I'm not looking straight out, I'm looking at my hands. So I have to keep looking at the camera and making sure I'm not going off or out of frame. And it's the things that you don't think about when somebody's filming a tutorial, is like how difficult it is to not move your hands out of this area. And a lot of times I'll watch the video playback and I'll be like, oh my God, you were off frame for like 5 minutes. A little bit frustrating. Yeah, I think this little cake is going to be enough to make 2 washcloths. I still have quite a bit left, which is awesome. And I'm really glad. I'm glad Rose sent that to me, even though I told her not to send me yarn and she did not listen. Because I have a lot, but I don't have this colorway, and this colorway is pretty. So there you go. And I'm going to show you a trick to make sure that your washcloth is going to be square instead of rectangular. And I'm sure a lot of you know this. I just realized my fingernails are dirty. It's garden season. What can I say? I'm not going to apologize for my fingernails being dirty. All right. One last half double crochet for that row. Now when you lay your washcloth flat like this, let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, to make sure that it is square. Now obviously we're going to put a border, we're going to fix that. To make sure your washcloth is staying square, you fold it in half and you make sure this corner stays the corner. Now see, we have this much left to crochet on the top here for it to be a perfect square. Okay, that's a perfect way to measure if your item is going to be square or not. We have this many, and if we turn our fingers and go like that, that's what we have left to crochet, which is exactly accurate. So that's a good way to keep track. So when this is square, it will look like this. It will be perfectly in half for a triangle. So that's a way to make sure that you are still on track, is every once in a while, if you're obsessed with it being square like I am, just fold it in half and see if it's how. And if this part is over this part, you've made too many rows and you need to bring it back some. So that's how you make sure it's square. Right, so let's see, that was half double crochets. The next row we're going to do is double crochets. So we're going to chain 1, 2, and 3. We're going to go double crochet across. I'll bring you guys back in a little bit. No sense looking at the blinds in the window. I think I need to put my glasses on. Eyesight's going a little bit blurry. I just love getting older. It's so much fun. Can I tell you? I had perfect vision for years and years, and everyone else in my family wore glasses. Both my sisters, both my parents had glasses, and I was always like, yeah, I don't need glasses. And then I honestly blame photography and crafting for my eyesight going bad, because with the photography, I was constantly staring at a tiny little screen on the back of my camera, or I was staring at the computer screen trying to edit and cull images and all that fun stuff. And then I moved on from that to crafting, and I noticed when I started sewing a lot that my vision started to act up, and then crocheting and knitting makes it so much worse. It's like I'm overusing my eyeballs. Remember, we're just doing double crochets across, and then the next row will be our bean stitch. This is going to be a pretty little washcloth. Now, if you're going to make one for charity, like I said, no pressure, but if you're going to make one for charity and you got enough, make one for yourself. Put it in the bathroom. I love homemade washcloths. All right. So we got the double crochet row. Next row is going to be the bean stitch. All right, so I think that needs one more. That needs one more double crochet. see, we fold it again. Check our progress. We got about this much to go. So that will be that much of the pattern. We are right on. We are right on. This will be perfect. It should be square by the time we're done. I love that. Success. Well, just about success. All right, so we're gonna, I don't remember if I chained 1 or chained 2 there. I'm gonna say I chained 2. It's like I said, I don't write patterns down. I just go from what's in my brain. All right, now we're gonna skip this one that we chained out of. And we're going to, yeah, we're gonna go into the next one. I'm gonna yarn over, go into the next one, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, we'll yarn over, pull up a loop. We'll have 3, pull through all 7 loops, chain 1, and do it again. Skip that one, go into this next one, pull up a loop, yarn over. Did I yarn over? Start over. I got ahead of myself. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull up a loop. My brain is going faster than my hands. I'm already on to the next step. I got excited. I got carried away. All right, chain 1. Skip the next one. Do another bean. That's yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull up. Jujus N Stitches has a hat pattern with these little beans in it. Oh, it's the cutest thing ever. It's one of my favorite hats I've ever made. I have no idea what I did with it though. I haven't made another one since, but I really like that hat. 2, 3. And she called it the Bean Stitch Beanie, I believe. And I think hers was green, and she put a big giant white pom-pom on it. Yeah. Chain 1. And what's cool is these beans on this top row are pink, and the ones at the bottom are white. So we got a little variation, but it's still the same stitch. 2, 3. And of course, if you're using a solid color yarn, it's probably not going to apply to you, but I really like this yarn. It's pretty. I love Valentine's Day colors. I hated Valentine's Day growing up. Oh, I hated it. My dad was never romantic at all to my mother, so it's not like I had a good example with that. But my older sister, the one that I do not talk to, she was constantly getting stuff from boys. She was pretty, she was petite, she was skinny, like whatever. I was not. And she would rub it in my face like, oh, look what I got from a boy, look what I got. And I hated Valentine's Day. It always made me feel bad about myself, like really bad about myself. And so when Mr. Cinnamon came along, I told him right off the bat, I don't like these holidays. And he made sure that I liked these holidays. Like, he spoils the heck out of me. So now I love Valentine's Day. I love Valentine's Day colors. I love Valentine's Day. I just love Valentine's Day. Because I feel appreciated and loved for the first time in my life. All right, and then we're going to put our little half double crochet here. I'm going to chain 1, 2, because we're going to do half double. Was it half doubles or no? I think that was singles. I think that was singles, right? Let's check our progress. Fold it in half. Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. We're right on schedule. All right, we're going to do singles in this next row because I think that's what we did. I'm quite positive. I think, right? Yep, those were singles. Are you guys writing this down? All right, so because we're doing singles, last time we didn't do singles in the top of these, but because we're working backwards, we're going to do singles. So we are going to chain 1, which I already did, and in the big hole, you're going to put a single crochet, and in that little hole right next to it, a single crochet. A single crochet in the big one, and a single crochet in the little one. This is going to be such a pretty little washcloth. I put my beans on the wrong side. Did I? Yep. Oh well, we're going with it. It doesn't matter. It don't matter. Sometimes that happens. If you want to fix that, you can take back the half double row and put that in. I don't care. It's good. It's good. My beans are on the wrong side, but that's okay. This is why this is why it's fun to just play with yarn. Like, and just go. Like, so what if you made a mistake? You can actually feel the bean stitch on both sides of the washcloth, so it doesn't really matter. But if it bothers you, just instead of putting that last half double row, you can just put the beans there. Or you can add another row of single crochet on top of this and then put the beans. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not worried about it. We are just playing with our yarn today. All right. 2. There we have it. See? Can't really tell. Can't really tell. This last row would be half doubles. We are perfect. Half double. Oops. Half double, half double. So you have the beans being on the wrong side bothers you. You can just put a single crochet and then the beans. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. And it don't bother me. Because nobody that's getting this from me is going to go, hey, your beans are facing the wrong way. My niece won't, and I know Wings the charity will not. Not a big deal. We are almost done with the body of this. And then when you're done with this, you can put whatever border you want on here. You can do single crochets all the way around. You can do half doubles all the way around. You can do doubles all the way around. You can get fancy and put fancy border. Makes no never mind to me. Customize it the way you want. But I think I'm going to use an alternating or a contrasting color. I'm not going to use this. I hate variegated yarn in a border. I like solids in a border. Because if you do this same yarn and you go around the border, like you might have this color till here, and then it'll turn into the orangey color, and then like I don't like that for a where are my scissors? Hang on one second, let me grab my little notions pouch. I probably should have brought to the desk. I'm gonna clip that. Fasten off. Boop. Now, let's see if this is square. Now that it's done. You ready? Fold it in half to the corner. That is pretty darn perfect to square. I did it. I did it. So, even though the bean stitch, it doesn't matter. Isn't that a pretty little washcloth? Perfectly square. All right, I'm going to work on a border, and I'm going to pause this. I'm going to let you work on your border. I'm going to come back and show you the final product. I don't know what border I'm putting on here yet. I have to go find it, and I'll be back in just a few minutes, but it'll be like a second to you. Wanted to pop in because I had a little tip here, and I don't know. This is something I have struggled with in the past. So first of all, I changed my yarn for my border color, but I also had to go up on my hook size. I just realized there is a mess up on my furrows hook right there. Huh. So anyway, little tip here. I had to go up. I know it looks like the same hook. It's a different hook. I wanted to give a little tip for the border in case you were struggling with that, because this is something I have struggled with. If you go along the edges here, and for example, if we have, these were the single crochets, for the single crochet on the end of a single crochet, you are going to put just one, actually I'm doing half doubles, one stitch for the half double, for the single crochet row. If you have a row that is half doubles, you will put in 2 stitches along the edge of the half double. If you have a row that is a double crochet or like as tall as a double crochet, you will squeeze 3 stitches into that area. So that is a little tip to keep your edges even. So if you have a single crochet row, this is a double crochet row, so we're going to do 3 stitches in the end of that for our, for our border, 2 and 3. And then this is a half double row, so we'll put 2 anywhere along the edge of that row. We got another half double row, we'll do 2 stitches in there. Okay. And it kind of keeps it more straight. All right, so I just wanted to give you that little tip while we're sitting here. All right, so I got my border put on. I need to find my darning needle. Darn that needle. I'm going to sew in our one and only end. The best part about doing the border, it makes one less end that you have to weave in. I hate weaving in ends. Zoop. Just tuck that little bad baby in. I just weave it back and forth a couple times till I can't see it anymore. 3 times is usually good enough. If we just have a little end like that, just tuck it back in. Just tuck it in. Boop. There we have it. That is our beautiful, 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 beautiful washcloth. We are done. It is done. Is it perfect? No, it's a washcloth. It doesn't have to be perfect. Perfect. There we go. I just put 5 half doubles in each corner to give it a corner without giving it a, you know, a hole in the corner. Still perfectly square. Perfectly square. We got a little bit of a whatever there, but that's fine. There goes our washcloth. Perfect. All right, guys, thank you for joining me for this little tutorial. I will not do the wings intro on every washcloth tutorial that we do, but I will refer back to this video and to Rose every time, and I will mention the wings every time we do a washcloth video. And thank you for joining me. Thank you for participating if you're participating, or if you're not participating, just thank you for watching, because I do appreciate that. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.